Whoop, whoop, whoop.
We're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Just Add Bourbon podcast. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr.
And I'm J.D. Darren. What's going on?
And so, of course, we're obviously, you don't see him on the screen. We're without Brad again this evening. He's still at work, actually. He texted JD and I a few minutes ago. JD, and this is a true story, I've been awake for about 25 minutes. JD texted me, said, hey, what's the plan? And I was like, well, I don't have a plan. I literally just woke up. So want to say happy Father's Day to everybody out there. I've had a nice day myself. JD, have you?
Yeah, man. Chase came over. He's been hanging out this evening. The other kids were at the campground, but, hey, little Facebook thing, post some pictures, tag me. You always wonder if people appreciate those things, and I definitely do. Like, to know that she's thinking about me just enough to say, hey, happy Father's Day and I love you. That means the world to me. So,
well,
yeah,
we've had a good time. I said, got up this morning and kids ended up taking, not the kids, but we all went out to eat and just kind of hung out. And we actually went to the Southside Mall in Williamson. Dude, I couldn't tell you the last time I've been there. Probably last Father's Day because Amy's granddad likes to eat there.
Right.
At Peking. And so that's where we went today. And then we walked around the mall and, that's, not my favorite thing to do is to shop, but we had a good time with the kids. And I don't know, I just enjoyed my day. And then I come home and passed out for probably about an hour.
Even better.
And of course, what is it, JD? Go down. I'm sorry.
I love a nap, I said. Take a big nap.
Yes, sir. So as you can probably tell, I was missing JD. We've been doing these shows and we've been doing them from our houses. And I just told JD, I said, look, we need to try this together because that's part of the fun for me is actually coming over here to what I lovingly call the barrel, which is JD Dameron's Bachelor pad, and wanted to just be together. I mean, really, that's how it started, right? JD was just getting together and hanging out.
Yeah. That's what it is, man. Yeah.
So
it's good to have you back over here, brother.
Well, I'm glad to be here and I can see nothing's changed, but I do want to, people need to understand this. And JD, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not trying to do anything. But before we started, JD said, hold on, are you in a hurry to go live? And I said, well, no, not really. And he said, well, hold on just a second. So he walks back through the house towards his kitchen. And I want you to know that he carried half of a grocery store back here.
Well, look, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I like to drink.
So, I mean, I don't know what all I saw, like eggs and bacon. What was? Oh, there it is.
Buffalo Trace. I've got some lemon juice. I've got some pineapple juice. And I've got an extra cup of ice. So I don't have to make So we're straight for the rest of the show. Of course, I've got my glass. I'm ready to get my drink on.
Well, I kind of laughed. I when I saw him come through there, I was like, what is he doing? And literally walked through, and I was like, "Man, you've got half the grocery store." So I had to mention that. So JD, just a couple things, I guess, just kind of get us started. Let's talk a little bit about the interview we did this past week with Vince, and I can't say Vince's last name correctly.
Palamara.
And he is the leading civilian author about the Secret Service. And I found that it was weird because when we were talking to him, we didn't ask a ton of questions because that man can talk. Now, there's no doubt we didn't ask a ton of questions, but I went back and listened to it the next day. And I don't always go back and listen to our episodes. I don't like to hear myself speak. So I went back and listened to it, and it was really interesting, dude. That cat, some of the things he was bringing out about, the JFK assassination and how it tied to the Secret Service, and then just the random weird things that happened. I thought it was great. What about you?
Yeah, a lot of that stuff I never even given a thought, about the Secret Service, the things that happened leading up to the march, when JFK got shot. Never even entered my mind that the Secret Service could be in on this plot to assassinate our president. And to say that sentence right there is even crazy. That our Secret Service could have very well been in on the plot to assassinate the president of the United States is a crazy statement.
Yeah, it is.
But according to Vince, that's what the evidence points to. So Yeah, I thought it was entertaining, man. Vince was a great guest. I hope we get to get him back when he brings his new book out. And I've loved these interviews, man. I'm excited about Thursday.
Yeah. So JD is like the master producer. And
It's true.
I mean, well, it is true because like most of these guests that we're seeing, I've gotten a couple, Brad's gotten a couple, but 90% of the guests that we've had, JD has reached out to these people. And I think because somebody asked me the other day, they were like, how are you getting these people? And I said, truth, JD just messages them and asks. And we just ask and they agree to come on. And then a lot of them have told me, just kind of talking is that, hey, look, we've watched some of the stuff you all have done. It's been entertaining. It's been good because we don't try to do anything gotcha style. We just want to talk. And so we've had some really, really solid ones. So tell everybody who's coming up this week.
So, especially people in East Kentucky will be very familiar with this name. Come Thursday at 8 o'clock, we got next Belfry Pirate, next UK football player, the next NFL player, and a current high school football head coach, David Jones, is going to be on Just That Bourbon podcast.
Yeah, and he's one half of the David and Daryl's sports show that's real popular here in Eastern Kentucky. And it was funny because we were messaging the other night on the our group text, and Brad didn't necessarily know who he was. Brad's not from here, so he wouldn't necessarily know. And I said, well, he played for Belfry, played for UK, and I said all these things, and then JD said, yeah, he played for the Ravens. I said, oh yeah, that too. The man did play professional ball.
And I'm really interested in what he's doing right now in the state of Kentucky with the high school coaches. This minority group is putting together to be more in the public eye, to bring more awareness to minority problems. And I think it's a great thing. I'm excited to talk to him about that. So
Cool.
I think it's going to be a great guest. I think it'll be a lot of great information to be excited to talk to him about his time at Belfry, about his time in UK, about his time in the league. And then, it's time now, man, what he's doing. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to talk to him. I remember watching him. I remember him from his high school career. I definitely remember him from the UK career. And, so it'll be a lot of fun. And I know for you too, where you're a fellow football coach, that'll be kind of interesting. I'm interested to see you two guys kind of chop it up. So, so speaking of football, have you guys started back? Are you actually practicing? Or is it just lifting right now?
So we started back this past week. We've got about 30 kids out. And what we got to do, man, we got to do a lot of different things, compared to the past with all this COVID-19 stuff still going on. Kids come in the dressing room, the locker room, we got to take their temperature and get them out. We can't have more than 10 people in a group together. So we're having to really split up and get things done. So we've got one group lifting, another group doing agility, another group doing, something with their skill set. And so we're just trying to keep everything in circuits. And that's how we're handling right now. But it's going well.
Well, are you liking what you see so far?
Bro, let me tell you. You don't want to be on our schedule next year.
Really?
Bro, I'm telling you, we're going to be pretty good. This is the best team I've never coached a team this good since being coaching. We're going to be good.
Really? Because, you guys had some legit players last year. How many seniors did you lose? You lost a bunch of people, and you're thinking that this team you got coming back is going to be solid.
This team got coming back is going to be special, not solid. This team's be good. We lost like 13 seniors, 14 maybe. Some of those guys came out late in football, didn't play a whole lot of varsity football, never played a whole lot of varsity football. We was glad to have them. We had some holes to fill, but we got a lot of big, strong, fast kids, man, coming back with a lot of experience. These seniors right now, man, I was thinking the other day, between their JV career and their varsity career, has probably played more football than any other Cardinal football players in our school history. So they're going to be able to step up to the challenge, and I really expect some big things.
Cool, man. That's awesome. So I'm excited. And are you hearing anything yet? Like, are they going to allow fans in the stands? Have you heard anything about that yet? Or it's probably too early to even know.
I don't know about nothing like that. I know just what we're doing now, man, is all I know, really. I'm hearing July 1st, they're going to let people open things back up and be regular football practice. Don't know. I've not heard anything about fans in the stands or out of the stands, so I just don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Well, I'm going to have to say, JD, that if they don't allow fans, I need to somehow become an honorary coaching member.
We'll put you on staff, baby. I know a guy.
Do you know a guy? I mean, I'll even do the flags or whatever, the first and fourth down mark. I don't care. I'll do whatever. I just want to watch. I just want to watch some ball. And it's funny because I was listening to it was Matt Jones from KSR did a podcast with Josh Pascal. He actually had Pascal and Randall Cobb on, and Pascal was talking about all the stuff that they had to do every day, like you said, getting their temperature taken. There's a questionnaire they have to fill out before they get started. I mean, like, it's legit. And he said it's different, but he said overall it's been pretty good. I mean, but they really have to know where they're going, what they're doing. There's a lot of steps being taken to try to prevent it.
Yeah, it's just a lot more work on the coaches. Really, the players probably it's all the same. You know what I mean? It's just football at the end of the day. Once you get through the initial group separation, it's just football. But getting everything lined up, getting agility rope set up, getting the cone set up, getting those things, because you got to keep people moving, keep them busy, keep them doing something. And so it's a little bit more on the coaches. But as far as the players go, I can't imagine it's a great deal different.
I know I'm still interested to see what's going to happen with, Kentucky football. As everybody knows on here, I go to every home game, been season ticket holder for years and years. And, they're talking about only allowing like half capacity. You don't necessarily get to sit in your seats,
Right.
Because now Wells and I have great seats. Like, I mean, we've sat everywhere in that place, for the last 20 years. And now we are dead smack on the 50-yard line, halfway up on the visitor side in the lower section. We got some of the best seats you could have. And we may end up having to sit in the top of that place, watch a football game, so that everybody can, be spread out, which is fine. I just want to be at the game, man. I don't care. I just want to be at the game. Right. Football season for me is one of the, obviously we've said it many times, you're from Kentucky. You're born and bred to be a basketball fan. That's just the way it is. But I have a love for the football team because I've sat through all the hard stuff, all those hard years of watching us getting our tails kicked. I've sat through all that, and now we're legit. And we have a legit program, and we got a legit coach, JD, because he did something this past week, or maybe it was the week before, where he and Vince Marrow led the UK football team, and they had on the Black Lives Matter shirts, and they basically marched through Lexington. And listening to what the players had to say about Stoops and what that meant to them, because you got a lot of coaches across the country that have really dropped the ball on this, and Stoops is leading the way. Right. And it was another one of those deals, man, where it made me happy that he's our head coach, because he's a good man.
Right. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, man. It's glad to see him. Let's just be honest. Most of the people on the UK football team and basketball team are young black men. A lot of them come from good past, man. And it's great to see a socially conscious coach, stand up for his players and not only stand up for them, but demonstrate with them, and really put your money where your mouth is. And we're blessed to have Coach Stoops, man, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I can't remember a time. We've had some good runs when Brooks was there, when Couch was there with Hal Mummy, and you had the air raid offense. We had some good, good seasons and, made it entertaining. Stoops has built a legitimate program. And then to see, because you've got recruits, that has to help with recruiting, because those kids, the young African-American kids that may be coming up to be recruited, are going to look at some of these schools and look at what their coaches did. And, like say Clemson, Dabo has completely, messed this up. And you got the cat out of Oklahoma State that had to come back and apologize. I mean, you've had all these things happen.
Well, I didn't see this. Hold on. Fill me in, man, because I don't know.
Which one?
I don't know about Dabo or the guy in Oklahoma State.
Dabo just hasn't done anything.
Okay.
He basically has come out and said, look, this is about football. I'm a football coach. You know how Dabo is. Right. And the stuff that he says. Now, this guy out at Oklahoma State, and I wish I could remember his name. He's he's got the mullet. He's got somebody watching, if you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, he was wearing a shirt of some TV station. To be honest with you, I never even heard of it. Right. And it's a conservative TV station, like it's pro-Trump. Like some people would say that CNN is, left television. This apparently is like the right. Okay. And apparently Trump loves them. And his star running back actually tweeted and said some things have got to change around here. And so then, it's kind of this firestorm happened. The guy ends up coming back and they do a video together, and then he ends up doing a video. And he was like, I didn't even think anything about it. But the perception that his players, mostly young African-American men, got is that, because most people, whether you agree with it or not, a lot of people, associate the right with this bigotry and these things that you hear and the things that you see going on. So, yeah, it was crazy. And compared to, people are following the Kentucky football coach's lead on what's going on, with this. And I'm very proud of that, because to think that, most people think of Kentucky, they think of backwoods, redneck, racist, and our football coach is leading the charge for how things should be done when it comes to this time in our country's history.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I said, I can't thank Coach Stoops enough, not only for the coach's job he's done, but for standing up for his players and these young men. And, I mean, he's a leader. That's what leaders do. They lead. And we could use a little more of that in other places.
Well played, sir. I like that. It was a well-timed jab. I liked it. So let's talk a little bit about it's something, JD, that I wanted to talk about today, and I actually wanted to thank you here live on the show, is the conversation that we had last Sunday. And JD and I have been going through this, and Brad have been going through this for probably since all this started, right, JD? I mean, we've been doing all these interviews, and we hadn't necessarily been able to get together so we could actually sit and talk with one another. But JD and I have been talking, and I was like, dude, I'm just not comfortable.
By the way, at later nights, Mr. Brad's dismay.
Yeah. Well, Brad actually texted me and said, because right now Brad has a new job, and he has to leave his phone on. Before, he can just turn it off and block JD and I out. Right now, he can't do that. And he actually messaged me the other night, and he called me, and he said, man, I don't know how to say this without being a dick. He said, can you and JD please move your conversation to another group? He said, because my phone is just bang, bang, bang. I don't know. It was kind of funny. So, but no, I wanted to thank you, JD, for that conversation, because it was something that I was incredibly uncomfortable doing. But JD and I actually, one day, wasn't it, JD? I called you and I said, look, man, I'm freaking out. So JD and I literally had a conversation similar to what we do on this podcast on the phone that day. And when we got done, I was like, okay, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
But it really, number one, earlier we went live to see if this would work, and we gave away the $100. We asked for people to get 50 shares. We got 71 shares of that episode. So first off, thank you guys, because that was huge. How many people did we end up reaching, JD? It was something stupid.
People we reached was like over 11,000, I think. But we had like 5.7 thousand views, man, which is crazy numbers. Like, I can't think these our audience enough. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but it helped me. Just having the conversation helped me, because it's one of those things where, as I said, we live in a place, we're sitting in it right now, that is 99.999% white. We don't know what it is to live in an urban community or, in a big city, and what that life is like. So I've been doing a lot of, really study, trying to understand, the position of the Black community in our country, trying to understand where they're coming from and why they believe the things that they believe. And I think that actually started from the conversation that you and I actually had here live on Facebook. And so I wanted to thank you for kind of nudging me in that direction, because it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had by all Americans.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a conversation. I know we're uncomfortable with it, man. Like, especially being white, middle-aged, straight men. Like, it's easy for people to judge us. And it's easy for us to say the wrong thing, man, because I'm not completely sensitive to all those things. I don't know. And it's just not because I want to hurt people's feelings, but just because I'm ignorant of some of the things I might say that's hurtful. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not just appreciative of you willing to put yourself out there like that, because it's a conversation everyone needs to have, regardless of your age, your sex, your sexual orientation, your skin color. We need to get on the page where we're all just Americans, man, and working through things together. And it's like, I've heard Brett say many times, and I've said many times, we may have a different idea of how to get to a certain place, but we basically want to get to the same place eventually.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I appreciate you and all the guys and the ladies listening in, man, and sharing the podcast. It means a ton to me.
And we did give that $100 away just a second ago. There's proof that we did it. We did go live, and April Moore won that $100, and so congratulations to April, and thank her, for sharing that particular episode, because it was, I don't know, man. I got a lot of good feedback, and feedback that I didn't expect to get. I don't know. They were like, "Look, you guys seemed really earnest." It was, we stayed in our lane. We didn't get outside our lane. That's easy to do, a conversation like that. We stayed and tried to be real about, what we know and why we feel the way we feel about certain things. And so, yeah, no, it was very cool. So let's just kind of talk about how things have progressed this week. And let's actually talk about some of the conversations that you and I have had over the past week concerning this issue. And one that I had sent JD, and I actually even said on the show last week, was, it's viewed, and I think unfairly, JD, it's viewed that if you're a Republican, you're against this movement. If you're a Democrat, you're for this movement. And you and I kind of went back and forth a little bit, just, in a little friendly banter about how the statues that they were taking down were, the Democrats were cheering, but they were all Democrat statues that they were taking down. Right. All the names that they want to take off of these Air Force bases and things are actually Democrats. So it led JD and I to have a conversation about how that has transferred over the years. Go ahead, JD.
Well, that shows you how much the Democratic Party's changed in 150 years. Is those Democratic statues we want to tear down. Those Democratic names on those Air Forces or on those Army bases we want to get rid of. So regardless of political affiliation, right's right and wrong's wrong. And that's something that we've recognized and want to move past.
So one of the things, and kind of doing the research this week, JD, is one of the things that I found out is back when, I guess when things changed, it was the Democrats, I guess, that led that. Mm-hmm. But it was with a group of Republicans.
Absolutely. Because
it wouldn't have passed.
Absolutely.
Without the Republicans, because there was a lot of Democrats who weren't for it either. They didn't have enough votes without the Republicans to actually make it work.
You're absolutely right. And they were Southern Democrats that voted against it. It was Arkansas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, all the people that belonged to the Confederacy. And people like Strom Thurmond, who was a strong Democrat until after the civil rights vote, who turned Republican. And then you've seen the Republican Party change.
And I sent JD a video, and it was this black lady that was talking to this group of white people.
Yeah.
And that actually led to a pretty good conversation that we ended up having to knock off because Amy was looking at me like, what are you doing? And
our conversation got interrupted twice that night.
Yeah.
That's another Brad was like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy and I was like, okay, apparently he's not getting enough attention.
Yeah. So she was like, you can talk to me. I'm sitting right here. And I was like, well, I'm having a conversation with JD. Don't you talk to him enough? And JD said, doesn't she know her place in the pecking order yet? And I said, not yet.
What's her deal, man?
She doesn't watch this, but she gets to hear enough about it as it is. But anyway, I sent JD this video, and it was this lady talking about this transfer of people. And so I did a little, it was actually posted by Hotep Jesus, who has been on the Joe Rogan podcast several times. He's a little radical for me, but he is a smart man, and I'm interested in some of the things that he says. Or follow up on some of the things that he says. And he was one that posted this video, and this lady was like, look, when the Civil War ended, basically the industry, because slavery was what, I guess kind of pushed the industry in the South. You had people in the South who actually had to move north for work, and people who had businesses established in the North were able to expand into the South because that type of industry wasn't there and there was a need for it. And that you had these people transfer kind of back and forth. And her argument is like, look, the people that are still against us are the Democrats. They just moved. And I was like, well, that's interesting. So, and JD was like, well, everybody just moved, and I was like, but that actually did happen. I did some research this week, and there was a lot of that where people moved back and forth. Now, did that change the Democratic Republican Party? I don't know. But, that was her statement about that was actually true.
So, I mean, there's always been people moving around our country, man. Our country's never been stagnant, right? We've always moved for jobs and, divorce happens, family split, people move. That's never not been the case. But you'd have to be hard pressed to prove that there's a reason that the two Democratic senators from Alabama in 1964 voted against Alabama's or voted against the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Act of 1965 would be Democrats today. You can't. That's not the case. I mean, the problem is you have people like David Duke and the members of the KKK who continually back the Republican agenda, and you try to make the argument that the white people should be on the same side. It won't add up. Well,
but here's my thing. This is what we were talking about was you can't take a small subset of the Republican Party.
And you can't take a lady on the street and say and take her as just anecdotal evidence of what she believes and pass that on as truth either.
Well, but what she was saying was fact. It was actually fact. What she was saying actually occurred. That occurred. That wasn't the thing. My thing is whether that changed saying that the Democrats are still the racists, I think is stupid, right? I think that's stupid. I think categorizing all Republicans as racist because there's a small subset of people is stupid too.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
We may find a common ground. I think it was sent to me in text message today because I had this conversation over the weekend. And I think the person nailed it perfectly. And he said, not all Republicans are racist or white supremacists, but all white supremacists are Republicans. And I think that's where meets the rubber meets the road, man. You're going to find the supremacists on the right side of the aisle, waving the rebel flags, wearing their Klan hoods, and that's why you won't find the white people there.
Well, here was my main argument though was, all right, you take all these cities where the majority of the black people in this country live, and they're all led historically by Democratic leaders. Right. So the reason I was saying that is it's obviously look where we are right now.
Right.
And the leadership in their communities has historically been Democrat. Why wouldn't they try something else? Because look what's happening right now. Look where they are right now. Why wouldn't they try something else?
Okay. So let's talk about this a minute. So you're a business owner.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, do you have managers underneath you? Do you have guys that manage?
I do.
Okay. If they don't do their job well, whose fault is that?
Theirs.
It's not yours?
Oh, no, poor leadership. I see what you're saying. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it comes back, the buck stops with you, right? No matter what happens, if your business flies or burns, the buck ends with you.
Yeah. I have to be the one willing to make the changes of the people that are running the system
right.
to make sure that it works the way it should.
You got to put them in a place to succeed, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So is our leadership doing that now? Is our ownership, are they taking extreme ownership of what they're doing? Is our ownership saying, hey, you know what? I didn't do my job and make these governors or get my governors and my mayors on board with me.
Okay, I'm not quite following. Here's why I'm not quite following, okay? Trump's been president for what, 3 years?
Going on almost 4, yeah.
All right. So how long has this been going on in the black community?
I mean, wow.
Right.
So just because leadership's always been bad doesn't excuse the leadership.
But here's the thing. The leadership has changed at the top.
Right.
Between, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump. But the Democratic leadership has been the same in these communities. They historically vote Democrat. So the leaders at the top have changed.
Right.
But nothing changed in these communities.
So the leadership at the top hasn't got the job done, period. No matter if it's Democrat or Republican.
I agree with that. I actually agree with that because you're right. I think the leader, and I think Trump, look, everybody knows
Has Trump took any ownership of anything they do at all?
And that's his, and that is on him. I'm one of those people, JD, and I think you know this about me.
Yeah, I do.
Is if you're not doing your job, I don't care who you are. I support Trump's overall agenda. Okay. Right. The overall, and a lot of my decision making is based on economic factors because that's what I understand. So that's what I actually understand. So a lot of my decisions are based on that. And I really like some of the stuff Trump's done. Like I really do with the trade. Our economy was killing it, before, basically we had 3 catastrophic events in a row in a 2-month period, which I still find odd. I don't care to be the conspiracy theorist on here because I still find that.
That's before those though, but go ahead.
Well, right. Yeah. That's what you say.
No, I don't say that. That's not me saying that. That's the economist saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just relaying the message, brother.
Listen, brother, all I can tell you is Jimmy Don personally, it's been a lot better under Trump than it was in the 8 years prior to that.
I get that.
Because I voted for freaking Obama. Like I voted for that guy because I was like, dude, we need something different. And I really liked his message. And then it almost destroyed where we live. And again, that's not all Obama either. That's the coal industry itself. That's the market. Is the market. Yeah, the market drives a lot of that stuff. So I don't want to lay all that at the feet of Obama. But they definitely push that agenda where like we're getting rid of all the coal jobs. Hillary's got caught on camera saying it and all that. But, no, absolutely. As far as the leadership, Trump has done a poor job on this, I think. He could have done much better because Trump being Trump doesn't accept blame for anything.
At all.
He doesn't. I mean, and that's a fact. I don't care if you like him or not. Know that. He doesn't accept blame for anything. Has he done a poor job? Sure. But on this particular issue, he has. But the leadership in those communities, and this is something JD said, well, do you think they would historically vote, for somebody that was against their interests? And I said, yeah, because I've done it for the last 6 terms of Mitch McConnell. I was like, we got the election coming up here in a few weeks. And I had changed my affiliation. I've been a Democrat my whole life, and I actually changed my affiliation to Republican. If I decide that I want to run for a local office here, I pretty much have to be Republican. So I changed. Amy's still registered a Democrat, and so, yeah. So,
I'm a registered Republican.
So like, and I don't care to say it on here. Like when it comes to that particular race, like Charles Booker and Amy McGrath, I want Charles Booker to win so bad because dude, I want a choice. Right. When you get, and this is just my opinion, when you get McGrath, it's the same old thing. It was the Democrat selected nominee.
It's the machine.
It's the machine. He's not the machine. Right. He was as real as me and you.
For sure. Yeah.
Just sitting here talking to we did it through, Zoom, but sitting there talking to him, he was as real as you and I. And that's the kind of leadership that I want. But I have literally voted against my self-interest when I have voted for McConnell the last however many times I voted for him. Because he's great on the national level, but he's not done a ton of stuff for us here locally.
So one of the things you brought up though was like, Joe Biden was one of the authors of the 1994 crime bill, which has put a lot of young black men in prison for a long time. But what you didn't mention is that nobody touched the cent in, and you guys and the Republicans held the Senate and the House of Representatives for 6 years during the Obama administration.
Sure.
You didn't touch it either.
That's right. Yeah. They didn't. That's wrong. It's wrong on everybody's account.
So we can't. It's not a side thing, man.
No, you're right. But the only thing I was trying to, as far as make the point about was,
and Joe was wrong. Joe, if you look at Joe's past, he's been wrong. And no matter what candidate you put up from either party, if you look at the past and they've been in politics a while, you're going to find them on the wrong side of the fence on some issues. And that's okay, because people are people, man.
Sure. And I've changed a lot. I know you probably have too in the last 10 years. I've changed a whole lot with my ideas.
If you're the same person you was 20 years ago, then you ain't growing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Read a book, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah.
No, but anyway, that was kind of the thing I was making was look, and which is true. And I think that's something that the Democratic Party has to look within and say, look, we've been the leadership in these communities for years. And we've had a revolving door of Democrat Republicans as our president, yet we still have the same problems. Why hasn't that been addressed? And I think that that's something I hope that the Democrats will look within themselves, take a look in the mirror, and say, "Yeah, we've been wrong.
They
We've
should.
been running these places, and nothing good's happening. We are where we are right now." The problem I got is you can't lay that all at the feet of Trump, right? I mean,
No,
you just can't.
Agreed. But management is going to follow leadership. I don't care if it's a Democrat, the president's office. That dude's where the buck stops, man.
Now, I just don't know. I can't. I have to push back on that. I love you, but I have to push back because management has to follow leadership. But these Democratic ran states have done the exact opposite of that, dude. They will do whatever they can to be against Trump.
Because all he's done is blame, bro. He's not reached out. Give me a caveat he's gave the Democrats. Tell me where he's reached across the aisle trying to work with Democrats. Name one.
I've got one. Didn't he reach out on the crime bill? Like he's actually trying to work on the crime bill?
You said that last week, but I don't know nothing about that, man.
Yeah, well, he has. He has legit been trying to work on crime.
Well, that's good. I'll praise Trump if he does, man, because that thing needs reform. There's obviously some bad problems.
I got one. He reached out over the stimulus due to COVID-19, right? So we can all get our checks.
And then he put his name on the checks.
That's just great marketing, JD. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's just great marketing. I don't know what you're going on about. Yeah. But no, as far as the thing that I think I've come to realize, really looking at this over the last, couple of weeks, really since this started, was that there is a lot of blame to go around. And it does not lay at the feet of the Republicans. It does not lay at the feet of the Democrats. It sure doesn't lay at the feet of Trump, and it doesn't lay at the feet of Obama. Those are the most recent people. It's everybody.
And I made a big post about this. When I first watched the George Floyd video, I made a big post on Facebook. And people trying to blame Trump for this problem we've got. But man, this is way bigger than President Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Way bigger than President Trump. I mean, we're talking about 400 years, bro. 1619. We're talking about a way bigger issue than Trump to deal with or bring to a climax in 3.5 years. I mean, it's not about Trump.
And here's one of the other things, JD, that I have really come to, because I put a lot of thought. I mean, I really have legit put a lot of thought into this, like trying to look at myself, because I don't think that I'm a racist. I mean, I told you last week that I believe there was probably a time in my life when I probably was a little bit, went to college, ended up meeting some black people, became friends with them, and really just realized that they were, the same as I was.
So was you racist, man, or you just didn't know?
I just didn't know. I was ignorant.
Right. So,
but what would you define racism as? It's ignorance.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know, man. Like, it's like when I'm going around black people for the first time, I was like, you know what, man? This guy loves his mama just as much as I love my mama.
Yeah, that's a fact, right?
He's worried about his siblings just like I'm worried about my siblings. And it wasn't because I was racist or I thought they were less than me. I just didn't know, man. I just hadn't been around to experience that. Because our point of reference wasn't that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me lay something at you about like with the statues. Because again, something I'd really been thinking about was, taking these statues down. Like I kind of get that, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were a black American living in this country and you see that, and if that really bothered you, here's the problem I got with it, right? I can't imagine, like we were talking about Jefferson Davis being in the Kentucky Capitol.
Right.
Dude, I didn't even know that statue was in the Kentucky Capitol. And most people don't. All right. So really, were people riding around and seeing this statue of somebody in Mississippi and it was bothering them? Do you think that really occurred? Do you think they're really like looking at it? If they did, then absolutely I'll take them down. So
I'll just give you my personal example. I can't speak to Jefferson Davis as much. I played ball, small college ball, football at Cumberland University in Lebanon, Tennessee. Tennessee was obviously part of Confederacy. In the town square in Lebanon, they had a statue of one of these cats. I don't even know who it was because didn't care. But he was a Confederate soldier or Confederate general or somebody. Now imagine being a young African-American male and being recruited to play football in Lebanon. And every time you go to the town square, they have a statue of a guy who fought to own you or your family. Like, to me, that's bad business. It's not. Your heritage is hate. And so let's not separate those guys. In Christianity, the devil's a big part of the deal. But if you go to a church and they got a statue of Satan, how you going to feel about that church?
Right. No, that makes sense. I mean, no, that part, that actually makes sense. And that's actually well said because, like, I was looking at it. Here's really where I came down. I was like, look, it was something I said last week that I told you my dad had said to me, and it being Father's Day, I think this is appropriate, is that he truly believed in the idea of America and what America could be. And that's a place where we all are Americans. It's a brotherhood, brothers and sisters. He really believed in the idea of that. And what a lot of those statues represent to me is the evolution that our country has taken because we are trying to reach that better place. We're trying to get to the better place. Now, what I told you with the Confederate flag and same thing with those statues is if it makes one American uncomfortable, then it should be taken down. But it shouldn't be destroyed. It should be what I say, like in a museum.
Museum, it makes sense. A private museum.
Yeah.
Well said, man. Like, I just think those things don't belong being celebrated. We get so caught up, man. Like people are like, "Oh, you're offended by everything these days." People are offended by everything. Well, there's a huge difference between being offended and reliving the Depression era. Like this dude was fighting to own my family. My dad, not my dad. My great grandpa was this dude's property. I mean, that's a whole different level I can never experience. And man, you can't really relate to that. Man,
sure.
You know? So, yeah, I said we take them down. We remember that black eye we got, but we move forward from it. And I think, dude, I'm a proud American. When the glory flies, bro, I love. And I know I mentioned you at the ball games. We go to the basketball games. Like I was going to take a knee. She was like, "I will kick you off this bleachers."
Yeah, just that Bourbon podcast is over. Get up.
But no, like I'm a proud American. I mean, I served in the military 6 years, served honorably, discharged honorably. And that's the great thing about America, man, is and say what you want to about our founding fathers, but they allowed that in our Constitution that we could change, man. We could grow. We could put amendments into the Constitution. And we have a lot, man. We've done a lot of things that are great step forwards. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to make America great again. Like, no. Let's make it great. Let's make America great going forward. A different America, different ideals, more inclusive. And let's go that way.
Well, I like where we're headed, man. And because I feel, stuff like this has come up before.
I've got a buzz, by the
way. Stuff like this has come up before, and you didn't really, people be a little outraged, but nothing major. It'd go away pretty quick. This is not going away. And like we were talking about college football players and even professional athletes now have a platform where they can really talk about this. And it's like I told you last week, my job is to try to raise my kids the best I can to understand that we're all the same. We're all Americans, just like my dad did for me. And then sit back and listen to the leaders in the Black community and just listen, try to learn, and hopefully we'll move forward bigger and better as a country. Because if we can get past this, sky's the limit, baby. I mean, as far as what we can be, the greatness of America may not even be close to, being met yet. And but I still believe, and I just watching the TV coverage wears me out, man. I said, everything you watch is so divisive. And it's like they want us to hate each other. Yeah. And it's just, but I think people are seeing through that BS and like, look, because as many people as you see protesting, there's as many white people as there are black. I mean, people are together on this and think it's wrong. So it's a good movement forward. And I'm not even sure how we got to where we just got. I know we were talking about something else, but that.
Oh, glory, baby.
So let's talk about, I know you had a couple of topics maybe you wanted to explore, and then I had a couple that I wanted to explore. So because I'm the one talking, I'm going to go first.
Go ahead.
So COVID-19, like it just seems like everybody said, I'm out. I ain't putting up with this anymore. I'm going to go do what I'm going to do. Matter of fact, Amy and I just booked a trip to Florida, and they're wilding out in Florida. I mean, like it's going crazy down there. I mean, people just, so we're like, heck with it. We're rolling.
I got 10 more days in me, bro. 2:30 first time out.
I'm done. So
COVID, do your thing for 10 more. You gotta get it, bro.
yeah. I mean, do you really think people are just like, to heck with this, man? If I get it, I get it, and let's just roll.
But and this is an alternative I thought about earlier. But what's wrong with 40-year-old healthy me getting COVID? If I get it, I will quarantine. Or if I'm in a high risk situation where I can't get it, I'll quarantine and stay away from people who are high risk. I mean, to me, man, it makes sense that I'm gonna live my life and do what I need to do, but I'm not gonna put other people at risk. If I go to Florida, I plan on going to Florida myself, and I come back, I don't need to be around no high risk people for 2 weeks. I can do that, and then we can still beat this thing. Maybe not the direct way that we had in mind, but just as an effective way.
No, I agree. And like Amy and I talked, and she was like, but because she was concerned because I think Florida just kind of opened up and said, let's roll.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been several new cases there. I think that's partly because people are getting out. Partly we got more testing. So, you can find out who actually has it. But I told her, I said, look, she was like, well, when we come back, there's a bunch of older people in the church. And I said, then you quarantine.
Right.
You quarantine for 14 days when we get back. And so that's what we're going to do.
That's not a 7-day trip, man.
Heck yeah, dude. To go get to look at the golf.
The beach, the sun. Come on now.
I said, go look at the golf. I told her, I said, I got to change my point of view, for about a week. I don't even care to work. Like, I'll do the podcast while I'm there. I just need a different point of view.
Listen, we may be on the beach doing a podcast, brother. I mean,
if we're in the same place, we may just get together. Brad's working anyway. We'll just get together and do our own on the golf.
Who's Brad?
Who? Brad who? No. But no, I mean, because really, it was something I wanted to ask you, because now one thing I have noticed, and even I don't want to wear a mask, have noticed that people are respecting the social distancing. And this is not a shot at the Chinese restaurant that we went to today, but that's probably the freshest food I've ever had at a Chinese restaurant because of the wait. Because it wasn't, normally you go to these, they're buffet style, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they did. They essentially had like a short menu. They had a little thing, pick one from this category, pick two from this category, pick three from this category. And then they brought it to you. They actually sprayed our hands with hand sanitizer. I think it was maybe just alcohol when we walked in. They actually sprayed our hands. And so I'm not going to say that's all bad, but and the food was actually pretty good. But I have noticed that people are social distancing still. They're trying to keep their distance. The people who are uncomfortable, I actually did a loan closing Saturday at my house. This couple lived here in Martin County, and we needed to close on Saturday because the sellers lived out of town. And when the sellers came to my house, they all wore masks. And I told them, I said, look, you do not have to wear a mask in here if you don't want to. Well, one of them actually had pretty significant health issues. So they wanted to wear the mask. And I said, absolutely, that's fine. And I think if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. Go ahead.
I just feel like that we're in a particularly privileged situation living in Martin County where we've had, I think, 4 cases maybe.
Yeah.
And as long as you use some common sense, I think you're going to be all right. And common sense, I mean, you're not hugging everybody that's coming around you. You're not getting huge crowds. I think you're going to be all right. Because, I mean, this community, you just don't are seeing it. And people are traveling into this community, bringing stuff in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we're tourism businesses popping.
Except for me in about 2 weeks. I'm heading out, going to the hotbed, and then I'll bring back. I'll be number 0.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, it's not like a lot of people are coming from outside of town to come to visit Martin County and bringing things in and then leaving. Like, basically, before we know that have happened in the county, we all know. You know what I'm saying? We know the mom or we know them. So we've been privileged in that aspect. A little bit different in a big city like New York, where anybody can have it, and you have no idea who the hell people are. So
yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I just wondered how you felt about that, because everywhere I go, People are just like, I'm done.
Yeah, we are done with it, man.
I'm done. I said it's and I don't know, like my office, I still have it sanitized a couple times a week. We're doing all the things, I'm still keeping that up. Just in case. I mean, I don't know. I want to be I want to use precaution, but at the same time, I don't want to be crazy.
I want to say I'm self-quarantining, but I just live by myself.
Look, I tell people all the time, I said, look, I've been prepared for social distancing for the past 44 years. When you live in Eastern Kentucky, we just social distance automatically. It just,
the hills make sure, don't they?
That's right. That's right. So let's talk about a couple other things. Hold on just a second.
So is Joe Biden going to debate Trump, bro? That's what I want to know.
Hold on just a second. Something's wrong with my puppy. Amy just messaged me and said something's wrong with her dog.
I don't know.
So is Joe Biden going to debate Trump? Was that your question?
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't. He probably shouldn't.
Right.
Because he's having a hard time putting a sentence together right now. And he's actually doing really well being bunkered up and not out there against Trump. He's actually doing well. I feel like it'll flip on him if he does, because I think Trump will destroy him in a debate.
But we probably have two different reasons why we think that. But I think I actually agree with you. I don't think Biden will debate Trump, not because Trump's so strong on policies or how government works, but because he's such a great entertainer. And he's at a 38% approval rating right now. So to me, Biden has everything to lose and nothing gained by debating Trump. So I think we'd be smarter just to not do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that actually makes sense, because I think that Trump will eat him alive on a debate stage. I truly do.
Just entertainment value.
Yeah, well, I think I don't know that Biden can put it, like, I'm really concerned for Biden. Like, and I'm not saying this as a Democrat, like, I'm really concerned for him. I mean, as a Republican, I'm not saying, because I'm like actually concerned for him. Like, his mental capacity, dude, he has a hard time putting a sentence together. He truly does.
I always get tickled when people bring that up about Biden to support Trump, because Trump was the guy who thought the F-35 fighter jets were invisible. He wanted to bomb hurricanes. And he said that the Revolutionary soldiers took over the airport. So I always get tickled to death when people say that Biden doesn't have the mental capacity to debate Trump. He definitely does. He's definitely not as entertaining as Trump, though. That's his problem.
And look, invisible jets are a thing, because Wonder Woman flies one.
Yeah, that's a comic book.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know.
So one other thing, just real quick, JD, and then I am going to have to wrap this up. So I want to ask you this question, and I want to know if it's nerdy or if it's normal. Okay. I have become addicted to watching mystery box openings on YouTube.
Oh my God, bro.
People open these mystery boxes, and they, most of the time it's like some kind of Funko Pop, or they'll do comic books. They do all these different things. They open them. They'll open Amazon pallets. They'll get these pallets for, I don't know, $1,300, and it's a $5,000, electronics return from Amazon.
Yeah.
And I have become addicted to watching them. And
yes.
So, yeah, that's nerdy, right? So much so that I think I'm just going to start my own YouTube channel, and I'm going to start unboxing stuff for fun. I actually have placed about 5 orders of things to come.
Oh God, bro.
And I have the channel, and I think I'm going to do like sports cards. I'm going to do memorabilia. I'm going to do a bunch of different things. But is that nerdy or is that normal?
No, I mean, it's definitely nerdy. Like, I want to say no, but definitely yes. But I get it. Actually, man, like, I'm thinking about doing some things myself. I may just do it on the Just That Bourbon podcast, YouTube. But Stitch Fix, do you know what Stitch Fix is?
Yeah.
So I used to subscribe, man. I'm thinking about redoing my subscription to Stitch Fix. And open the boxes on the YouTube channel and let people see what I get in the mail, because like sometimes you get some really cool friends, man, and those things, but sometimes not.
Well, no, because I talked to the girls. I think I might have told you this. I mean, e-commerce is the future. And the quarantine proved a lot of that, because people can buy anything from home.
Bro, my buddy bought a llama.
Oh,
He's on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but I mean, I seriously, Amy's like, "What is wrong with you?" Because I have become addicted. Addicted.
So the girls got you addicted to this, I'm assuming.
Well, not the girls. They think Addison will roll her eyes. Like, if I do these videos, I swear I'm going to make a clip of Addison rolling her eyes at me saying, "Oh my God, Dad." Oh, she is just mortified.
Oh, yeah?
Look, they were mortified that we were doing this podcast.
Right.
I
know.
Yeah, you experienced that too, didn't you? They were mortified that we were doing this.
Just that lemonade, though.
Yeah, just add lemonade, dude. Get them together.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, wasn't that Cole's idea?
Yeah.
Or what do you call it? Just add applesauce or apple juice?
Apple juice. You're right. Yeah.
So, but I don't know, man. Like, I like that stuff, and I have learned how to use this YouTube thing. Like, I upload videos to that all the time. I know how to edit, all that stuff. And
I tell you, I got good buzz.
that's a good thing the show's about over. JD's about JD's about his limit. Oh, don't do that. Look, we're just starting to build an audience, JD. Let's not do that. Let's not run them all off. But no, so you don't think that's too nerdy? I mean, like I said, Addison, I told her I was going to do it, and she rolled her eyes and said,
I like that stuff too. So, yeah, it's cool.
Well, I love it, man. I mean, like I said, I can't help it. Addison says, "You're a 45-year-old man. You ain't got no business reading comic books." I don't know. It's funny. So,
Addison, quit judging me, girl.
Yeah, don't judge me.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
So, as far as do we have any other topics that we want to talk about tonight?
I think it's it, bro. I think we covered everything.
JD, we've once again proven that we are to the point where we can get together and talk for an hour, if it's been an hour,
about absolutely nothing.
about anything. I literally woke up when JD texted me and said, "Hey, what are we doing?" And I was like, "Oh, whoops."
Can I just say you look amazing with your headphones on?
Dude, these are cool. Like, my ears are a little bit hot. Yeah. Well, I feel like professional. I feel like I'm a real podcaster now that I've got my headphones on. But no, it's been a fun show, dude. I've enjoyed it, and it's actually good to be in your presence. I mean, it's fun being able to do the whole Zoom thing and do all that. It's good that we can communicate that way, but it's actually nice to just be in the same room together.
Right. Absolutely, man. Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm probably like one of the only people around that thinks it's enjoyable being in a room with JD. I don't know.
What? You could have said, why'd you say that, bro? Well, you could have left that there all night long when I said that.
Yeah. Hey, I got nothing but love for you. You know this. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. I do need to get out of here. So, we appreciate you all listening. Oh, one thing before I forget, JD, is we've got another giveaway going on, right? So we're going to give $100 to someone that I guess subscribes. How did we word that, JD?
Yeah. Just got to subscribe to the YouTube, man.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Since we put that out, we've had 6 people subscribe.
So look, if you're subscribed, we're going to put you into the entry anyway, right?
Yeah.
And if you subscribe from here forward, we're going to put you in again. Are we going to? If you're subscribed, if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, we're going to put you in the drawing. And if you subscribe from this point forward, we're going to put you in the drawing. Next Sunday, we're going to do another drawing. We're going to give another $100 with it.
Look, our goal, and because you guys, I mean, our community is awesome, dude. Our the people who listen to this show.
We still need you to share this, though. We still need you to share this.
Yeah, share this episode, but we want everybody to go to our YouTube page. We're trying to get to at least 1,000 subscribers. At 1,000 subscribers, that's when you have the opportunity to monetize what you're doing on YouTube. And so we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm just going to throw it out there. We are wanting to grow the podcast. We're looking to build a studio. So this is a way that, because there's things that you can do, like a Patreon thing. where, our listeners can give us money. We don't want to do that. We want to earn it and do that by building our audience. And if we can get on YouTube and start making a little money, build us a studio, that's what we want to try to do. So if you're listening, go subscribe to the YouTube page if you haven't already. If not, or if you have, share the post that JD gave or put out the other night. He actually gave you the link. All you got to do is click on it. It'll take you straight to our YouTube channel. You hit subscribe. You're good to go. Turn on the notifications if you want to be notified, all that kind of stuff. So, as always, you can pick us up on Podbean. That's the app that we launched the actual podcast version from. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just add bourbons all over the place. Go there. You can pick us up there. And as we always end the show, from myself, from JD, and from Brad, no matter how bad your week's been, no matter how bad your day's going, if you want, JD?
Mitch, please.
If you just add bourbon, it always gets a little bit better. Thanks, guys. We'll see y'all next week.